What happens when the only way to stop a monstrous king is to kill the one creature who'd die alongside him? Today's story is about a knight who swears to wipe out every dragon on Earth and ends up falling for the exact dragon he's hunting. By the end, he'll have to choose between his best friend and saving an entire kingdom. Let's get into it. The story opens with Bowen, a battle-hardened knight, training young Prince Einon in swordsmanship during his off hours. Bowen isn't just a guard, he's the closest thing Einon has to a mentor. Einon's father, the king, rules through fear, and when villagers rise up in rebellion against his brutal taxes, he marches out personally to crush them, dragging his son along to learn how a king deals with traitors. Bowen and Einon watch from a distance as the king's men slaughter the rebels and torch their homes without mercy. But this time, the villagers don't break. They turn the tables, surround the king, and kill him on the spot. Einon sprints toward his father, desperate to save him, too late to stop the death, but right in time for a tragedy of his own. In the chaos, a girl named Kara crashes into him, and Einon is impaled on a jagged wooden stake. Bowen scoops him up and rushes him back to the palace. But the damage goes far beyond what any physician can fix. The stake has pierced straight through his heart. By every normal measure, the boy is already dead. Refusing to accept that, the queen takes Einon deep into the wilderness, to a hidden ruin where she calls out, and a dragon emerges. This is no ordinary beast. He's ancient, wise, and one of the last of his kind. The queen begs him to save her son. The dragon agrees, but only on one condition. Once Einon becomes king, he must rule with honesty, protect his people, and become a true warrior for good, not a tyrant like his father. Desperate, the dying Einon swears it. The dragon then tears open his own chest, removes half of his own heart, and places it inside the boy. Einon is instantly, miraculously healed. It doesn't last. Months later, Einon is king, and every promise he made is long forgotten. Prisoners are being worked to death, building monuments to his ego, and the cruelty Bowen once hoped he'd grow out of has only gotten worse. Bowen and Einon's other old mentors storm in, free the prisoners, and try desperately to talk sense into him, but Einon won't hear it. He's become a different person entirely. Convinced the dragon's heart is somehow responsible for the corruption, Bowen marches to the same cave and screams for the dragon to show himself. He never does. Furious and heartbroken, Bowen makes a vow of his own. He will hunt down and kill every dragon left in the world. Years pass. Einon has grown into a full-blown tyrant, ruling through cruelty exactly like his father once did. Bowen, meanwhile, has become a professional dragon slayer, drifting from town to town. Along the way, he crosses paths with Gilliver, a small-time thief and self-declared monk who's deeply impressed watching Bowen track, fight, and kill a dragon in a matter of minutes, pulling out one of its teeth as proof of the kill for payment. Gilliver decides to tag along, and the two strike a partnership. Bowen does the killing, and they split the bounty from Einon's treasury. Their next target is the last dragon left in the region, and it turns out to be the very same dragon who once saved Einon's life. Bowen tracks him to a waterfall, and what follows is a brutal, drawn-out clash. Fire breath, a snapped rope, a horse pulled clean off its feet, trees crashing down around both of them. Round after round, neither one can land the killing blow. Eventually, the dragon gets pinned by his own tail, and in a moment of desperation he speaks, "Why do you want to kill me? I'm the last of my kind. Once I'm gone, who's left for you to hunt?" Bowen isn't moved. The dragon lunges to finish him off instead, only for Bowen to jam his sword into the dragon's mouth, leaving them both stuck, neither able to land a killing blow. Out of pure necessity, they strike a deal instead of a death match. The very next day, the dragon, whose name turns out to be Draco, puts on a show, attacking a village and torching its crops in full view of the terrified locals. Bowen rides to the rescue, appears to wound Draco fatally, and watches him fake his own death in the river. The villagers pay handsomely for their savior, and the scam works perfectly. What started as a business arrangement quietly turns into genuine friendship. Draco can't resist needling him about it. "Why do you rob from people who barely have anything? You used to be an honorable soldier. Why don't you just stop Einon yourself?" Bowen's answer is blunt. "I can't fight the whole world alone, so now I just take from it instead." Back at the palace, Kara, the same girl from years earlier, now grown, sneaks in and attacks Einon herself, seeking revenge for her father, whom Einon had killed with an arrow some time before. She narrowly escapes, and Einon orders his men to hunt her down. Out in the wilds, Bowen and Draco are mid-hunt when Draco asks again why Bowen hates dragons so much. Bowen corrects him, "I only ever hated one dragon, the one who gave a child a magic heart and turned him into a monster." Draco quietly defends himself. He broke the promise. He was always going to be a cruel king, heart or no heart. Suspicious, Bowen presses him. How would he know all this detail? Draco brushes it off, claiming dragons simply share knowledge among themselves. Moments later, Draco suddenly cries out in pain, his shoulder burning as if struck, and crashes through the trees. The cause becomes becomes clear almost immediately. Across the kingdom, Kara has just slashed Einon's shoulder with a knife, and because Draco's heart beats inside Einon's chest, whatever happens to one happens to the other. The truth is finally undeniable. This is the very dragon who saved Einon all those years ago. Back at the palace, the real reason for the attack surfaces. Einon wants to force Kara into marriage, and she'd rather put a blade in him than agree. After he storms off, the queen quietly smuggles Kara out of the palace through a hidden passage. Kara heads straight to the nearest village and begs the people to rise up against Einon, but instead of rallying behind her, the villagers laugh her off, hurl vegetables, and humiliate her. Fear has made them compliant, not brave. That's when Draco swoops in to attack the very same village. While everyone scrambles for cover, Bowen demands gold in exchange for protection. But this time, the villagers offer something else entirely. They hand Kara over to the dragon as a sacrifice to save themselves. Draco scoops her up and flies off into the forest, and by the time Bowen and Gilliver track them down near the waterfall, something unexpected has happened. Kara and Draco have become genuine friends. That fragile peace shatters the moment Einon shows up in person, hunting Kara down himself. Draco retreats into hiding, while Einon, once Bowen's own student, confronts his old teacher directly. Their fight is brutal, and Einon, trained by the very best, overpowers him completely. Just as he's about to finish Kara off, Draco bursts out of hiding and bares his torn, scarred chest in warning. Whatever message that sends, it's enough. Einon flees in fear. The next day brings retaliation. Einon's forces descend on the village again, and Draco lays waste to it completely. Desperate, Bowen tries the same river trick that worked before, but this time, the dragon doesn't go down so easily, and the terrified villagers turn on all three of them with weapons drawn, wading straight into the water. Draco barely escapes with his life. The entire scheme collapses, and Bowen, Kara, and Gilliver suddenly find themselves the targets of an entire village's fury. Fleeing on horseback, all three are thrown to the ground, and it's Draco who swoops in at the last second to rescue them, carrying everyone to safety. That safe haven turns out to be something extraordinary, the resting place of the legendary King Arthur himself. Surrounded by that legacy, Kara pushes Bowen to finally commit to leading a real rebellion against Einon. He hesitates. Building an actual army from nothing is no small task, and he points out bitterly that villagers who'd hand a girl over to a dragon to save their own skin are hardly the makings of fighters. But Draco is fully on board, revealing something deeper about why he's willing to risk everything. Every dragon's soul earns a place among the stars, but only by living or guiding someone else to live a life of genuine goodness. That's exactly why he gave half his heart to Einon in the first place, hoping to shape a just king, and through that act finally earn his place in the heavens. Hearing this, Bowen finally understands the dragon's true motive all along, and commits himself fully to the cause. Word of the brewing rebellion reaches the palace, and Einon's commander begins preparing the royal soldiers for war. The next day, Bowen's forces strike the palace directly, with Draco scorching entire ranks of soldiers from the sky. The army tries countering him with spears tied to ropes, hoping to bring him down. Einon himself rides out to meet Bowen's men head-on, while the villagers execute a clever trap, luring the soldiers into the forest before setting the entire battlefield ablaze around them, boxing them in completely. What follows is a brutal, one-sided massacre as Bowen's forces tear through the trapped soldiers. Amid the chaos, as Einon tries to flee on Draco's back, the archer Gilliver, acting as their resident marksman in this fight, lands an arrow that wounds Draco mid-flight, sending him crashing down. Horrified at the thought of his friend getting hurt, Bowen rushes toward the palace, only to find Draco has already been captured and chained up. That night, Bowen slips into the palace alone and begins cutting down soldiers one by one, working his way toward a final confrontation with Einon. Their sword fight is ferocious. Years of training on both sides means neither man gives an inch. Kara fights her way through the palace guards as well, eventually managing to throw Einon off balance long enough for him to fall. Bowen rushes to free the captured Draco, but Draco stops him cold with an impossible request: kill me so that Einon dies with me. Because they share one heart, there's no other way to end Einon's reign for good. Bowen refuses outright. Draco is his closest friend, and he simply can't bring himself to do it. In desperation, Draco attacks Bowen himself, trying to force his hand, but Bowen throws his weapon toward Kara instead. Seeing an opening, Einon grabs her, holds a blade to her throat, and threatens to kill her unless Draco backs off. Draco immediately pulls back to protect her. That hesitation gives Einon the opening to turn on Bowen directly. Cornered with no other choice left, Bowen finally strikes, driving his blade into Draco's horn. Draco collapses and dies almost instantly, and at the very same moment, Einon, his oldest student, the boy he once tried to shape into a good man, dies as well. The shared heartbeat between them finally silenced for good. As Draco's spirit rises into the the night sky. It transforms into a trail of stars. His soul finally finds the place among the heavens he'd spent his whole life chasing, achieved at last through one final act of sacrifice. And that's where this story comes to its end. This one was originally released back in 1996, and it still holds a solid 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb decades later, proof that a good dragon story never really gets old. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like and follow for more. See you in the next one.